So you want to build an SMMA to the 10K per month revenue mark, and this is an understandable goal because at $10,000 a month you are hitting the six-figure yearly income mark, which is kind of a milestone for a lot of people, and it's a great milestone to achieve. And what makes the SMMA business model so beautiful is that virtually anyone can achieve this as long as they have this and an internet connection, right? That's basically all that's required, and then of course some knowledge on social media marketing itself. But really these are all the requirements that you need to get started with building an SMMA. And in today's video I'm going to take you through the exact steps and break down kind of the journey and what you need to go ahead and start making $10,000 a month with your SMMA. So without further ado, I've made a presentation that I'm going to walk you through, so let's get straight into it. So you should now be looking at the keynote, building a $10,000 per month SMMA. And the way we're going to be breaking this down is our goal is to acquire 5 clients that each pay us a monthly retainer of $2,000. And obviously when we times 5 times 2,000, that gives us a monthly revenue for our SMMA at $10,000. And so we want to be charging our clients $2,000 a month. But how do we justify that cost? How do we justify that in order for us to provide them with social media marketing services? We're asking a whole $2,000 a month. I mean, that's a pretty hefty retainer. So we obviously gotta find an argument or a way to justify our cost. And the way I want to break this down is actually to look at the lifetime customer of a client for a dental clinic, right? If you've seen other videos on my channel, you know that I like to bring up the dental clinic niche because it's a niche that I've personally enjoyed working with my SMMA, and it's a niche that I really recommend for you to go into. So we're going to take the dental niche, the dentist niche, as an example here, right? If you go look at the internet, you'll find that the average customer lifetime value for a dental clinic client is anywhere between $2,000 to $20,000 a month. And I know this seems like a really high customer lifetime value, but this is based on the fact that once you sign up for a dental clinic, usually like the average client of a dental clinic will stay with that same clinic for upwards of 10 years, even more. And once you become loyal to a clinic, you'll actually refer your friends and family to the clinic, right? So this means that when you bring in one client to the clinic, you can average that they'll bring in 5 referrals and they will stay 10 years each, right? So that's why the average customer lifetime value of a client in a dental clinic is upwards of $20,000. But to be conservative in this video and for you to believe me, we're going to be very conservative and we're going to say that the average customer lifetime value is $2,000 a month, okay? Now in my experience, we are able, as a social media marketing agency, we're able to bring in 10 to 15 clients for a dental clinic every single month, okay? And now let's go back to that $2,000 customer lifetime value. If we're able to bring in 15 clients per month, that means that we're bringing in $30,000 in revenue for the dental clinic. Let's go back to our retainer. We're asking $2,000 a month, which at one point, that seemed like a hefty retainer, right? It seemed like a lot to be asking $2,000 a month for our services, but we're actually bringing in $30,000 in revenue. So does that justify our retainer? I think it does. But how do we actually go ahead and find these clients? Well, I did a quick Google search for you guys, and this is the results, okay? So of course you all know how to do this. All I did was search up dentists London and go to Google Maps, and I got a long list of all the dentists in London. And you can do this with whatever city you like. Personally, I live in Copenhagen, so that's what I would personally do. I just took London to show you guys an example here, okay? And literally there's hundreds of dentists on this list that you can go ahead and call. And if you look at the left of the picture, you can see, you can see the list of all the dentists. And if you look at the right of the picture, you can actually see that if you press on like one of the individual dentists, you'll get their website and you'll get their phone number, you'll get their address, you'll get everything you need to contact them, right? And so how do you go from this to $10,000 a month in revenue? And as we said, we want 5 clients that each pay us $2,000 a month. And what does it take to get these 5 clients? Well, I've broken it down here and I want you to stay tight with me here. So let us assume that 5 clients, as we said, 5 clients times $2,000, that's a monthly revenue of $10,000 a month. Now let's go ahead and assume that you can do 20 calls on this list, right? We search the dentist London. You can do this in any niche you want, but let's assume you're able to do 20 calls a day. I would say that's pretty realistic. One call takes on average probably like 3, 4, 5 minutes, so you can easily pump out 20 calls a day. And let's assume that you are able to schedule one meeting for every 20 calls that you perform, right? So that means that you're scheduling one meeting per day. Now let us assume that you're able to close one client for every second meeting that you take. Obviously, when someone agrees to take you in for a meeting, there is a really good chance of you closing them as a client, because once they sign up for a meeting, they have great interest in your services, right? So this means that to get one client, we have to take 40 calls, because 20 calls was one meeting, and we needed 2 meetings to get a client. So one client equals 40 calls. What does that mean? To get 5 clients, we need to perform 200 calls. Now, if we did 20 calls a day, doing 200 calls would take us 10 days, okay? So obviously, I'm not expecting for anyone to be able to build a $10,000 a month SMMA, $10,000 a month revenue in just 10 days. That's almost humanly impossible, because obviously there's a lot of logistics that you need to sort out, including social media marketing knowledge and just the basic knowledge of actually running a social media marketing agency. But the 10 days here are the 10 days where you focus solely on pumping out cold calls and actually acquiring clients, right? So this is not going to be 10 days that you take in a row, and not just going to go from $0 to $10,000 revenue in the matter of 10 days. As I said, there's a lot more to it, but essentially this just breaks it down, and this really shows you that you are actually much closer to reaching that 6-figure income than you might have previously thought. So I hope this video gave you a greater insight into what it actually takes to build a 6-figure income with your SMMA. Now, obviously, when we look at it from the outside, and when we say, I want to build a 6-figure income with my SMMA, and right now I'm making $0, it seems like a crazy proposition, right? But when we break it down into these essential steps, it actually becomes much closer to us, and realize that we're not as far away as we might have previously thought. So I really hope that you took some great value out of this video, and on that, I'll see you in the next one.